To other news now, a global report by the United Nations has painted a dismal picture of the fallout of COVID-19 for small economies like Jamaica, which are heavily reliant on tourism. In response, officials in the sector say this underscores the need to reopen the industry in phases. Anthony Lugg tells us more.
Up to $3.3 trillion, the amount global tourism revenues could fall, according to a report by the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development UNCTAD published on Wednesday. The same report says for Jamaica, the fallout will be equivalent to 11% of gross domestic product, or about $1.7 billion. Senior strategist in the tourism ministry, Delana Seabright, agrees that with the country so heavily dependent on tourism, there's a need to find more options to grow the economy.
I think what it means in part, though, is that tourism is a lot more interconnected than many people had assumed. People seem to lose sight of the fact that our tourism industry, the linkages has been deepening over the years, which is also a good thing for Jamaica in terms of our manufacturing linkages, our agricultural linkages, insurance, banking, construction, transportation, the whole works. There's an interconnectedness. But yes, it also means that we must at all times continue to develop other options as it relates to our economy. But the fact is, tourism has the biggest potential for growth.
With major source market, the United States, recording increased cases of COVID-19 over the last few weeks, there remains concern that this could significantly impact the full return of Jamaica's tourism sector.
We do hope, though, that as the months go by and as remedies are found as it relates to COVID-19, hopefully a vaccine maybe next year, that things will improve dramatically. But for now, we are slowly growing, albeit very slowly. A lot of hotels remain closed for this summer, but the hope is that by November, by December, we're going to see appreciable growth in tourism numbers.
Global tourism revenues have been impacted by COVID-19, with countries now picking up the pieces. And there's no doubt there will be drastic changes in operations. The tourism ministry, however, says the marketing strategy to attract visitors going into next year will be unchanged.
We're very confident that certainly within a year or so, tourism will come back to appreciate to good levels that are sustainable, and we will go on a surge essentially after a year or so back to the numbers that we had pre-COVID-19. Our marketing efforts are going to be geared towards that scenario. Our development efforts as it relates to continuing the deepening of the linkages in agriculture, manufacturing and so on will continue. This is just a very bad moment in a time of tourism.
Anthony Lugg, TVJ News.